One of my favorite records to listen to is by a band called Sigur Rós. They're from Iceland, and so because of that, it's hard to pronounce the name of the album. It starts with Mio Suo. One of the reasons this album by Sigur Rós is one of my favorite albums to listen to is I think that when I'm driving and listening to music, I don't necessarily want something that's really upbeat and crazy and going nuts, you know, while I'm trying to kind of think. A lot of times while I'm driving is a time, you know, for me to spend in my head, and this is a great soundtrack for me to think. It's sung in Icelandic, and the music is very slower tempo and introspective, and so I really enjoy being able to release some of my thoughts through slower sounding music. It's a great melody.
Songs or artists you are listening to lately?
We listen to a lot of Sigur Rós.
It's always hard to kind of like get down to kind of like one album or even three. Sigur Rós, the Talk album.
This song in particular, Grow Till Tall, came off of his like personal solo release, and I knew that he was trying to use more English because he doesn't usually write in English, and yet somehow with English not being his first language, he still picked the right words, even though they were, you know, missing some words in between. What's so great about his recording and writing process is it's so hard to create a build in the box. And what I mean by that is like when you have your programmed keyboards in the box, it's all pre-recorded stuff that you're triggering, right? One of the hardest things to do is to create this natural, continuing build of energy and sound with stuff that's just in the box. Yeah. And so you got a guy like Jónsi who he knows how to tap into these players that are on violin in these real string sections, in these just awesome ways of creating soundscapes through running his electric guitar through different outboard gear.
They can take you to a place where it's so much more impactful and so much more meaningful and so much more triumphant, and yet it doesn't feel like it got any louder.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
There's definitely a science to it, and I think it has a lot to do with having the ability to record real instruments. You can tell a player on a real instrument to start building and to start adding velocity to those strikes, and there's something human about it that you just can't recreate in the box when you're producing a record.
They're few and far between of artists who can use the box, as you put it, and also the digital box to create emotion and to really make it feel like, oh my God, I'm dying. You know, I'm just, it's just killing me. The song is so emotional, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you have to have skill in production to accomplish that. Whereas guys like Jónsi that can hear the song before it happens and he can explain it to his players. And then he can rally them around to accomplish what they're trying to accomplish.
There's a lot of people getting into this and talking about this lately, which is amazing. And so I figured, why not talk about my experience with cold exposure. I started my journey with cold therapy probably 6 years ago. I jumped into my friend's freezing pool after a boxing session at his house. And I remember I had to really focus on deep breathing because I felt like I wanted to hyperventilate. And my body felt completely shocked, but I was filled with so much energy and positivity the rest of the day. And then that night, I slept like a baby.
This next one is from a band called Sigur Rós. So Sigur Rós is one of Josh and I's favorite bands, and they traditionally release very kind of atmospheric, chill music. Also, it's in a different language. So I don't know if this is going to translate well over the radio here at Alt Nation, but this song called Stormer, which is spelled Stormur, is definitely one of Sigur Rós' more upbeat songs, but it's also one of our favorites. Please dive in and listen to this song. The instrumentation and the production and the melody and percussion. I mean, everything just kind of, I don't know, melts together like it's been around since the beginning of time. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's one of our favorite songs. Sigur Rós, the song's called Stormer.
O sarà rude.